Good morning, everybody. It is Monday. Monday is so wonderful because remember we talked about you can always start over on Monday. You can make a decision. I'm going to be happy today, the rest of the week, and people will go like, "What happened to you? You know, what have you been drinking and all that?" But you can be exactly who you want to be this week and start over again. So it's great. Well. Brexit happened. And the sky is falling to a lot of people. And a lot of people feel, oh boy, we're free. But the elites of their party over there is hilarious. I can't believe how it mirrors our own party and how the same things are happening. And that's why Donald Trump said, I think they're going to leave. I think they're going to leave. So they leave. And everybody's saying, oh no, this is not really what they wanted. They didn't understand what was going to happen. And calling all the people stupid. And so because they don't understand what's happening, then what else should they do? They should just say, well, I guess we're going to have to live with it. We got to live with it. But I don't know. I think they're going to be happy in the long run, but it's going to take a while, right? It is going to take a while. So if this happens and stays this way, and everybody calms down, but already, just like the elites in the GOP are thinking, oh, okay, they really didn't know what they were doing. They really don't want Donald Trump, so we're going to show them what's best for them, and we're going to find the person that's best for them. And the elites in the British realm feel like the people didn't understand what they were voting for, and that we need to do this again now that they understand that the pound is, the money is going down, the value of the money is going down, and our markets, were hit hard, and they did a lot of, the volatile drop in the market, but it's come back up now. It's maybe 1.5% down, but it's crazy. It's just crazy how affected we get over something that they wanted independence from this union, and we feel like how badly it's going to affect us, but we're going to be fine, and they will be fine eventually if they will just allow themselves to cooperate with the will of the people. That would be great, and that's the same thing that we're seeing here. Of course, what's funny is that Obama went over there and actually tried to get them to and tell them how bad it would be if they left the union. If they left the European Union, how bad it would be for them. He said, it's like, if you break this up and you leave, understand that you then go to the back of the line, because we have to deal with the bigger powers, and it's prioritized, and you have to go. That was the wrong thing to say to the British people. How dare you come in and try and insert yourself into our politics and then tell us that you're going to view us as a second-class citizen if we do this? So he really put it, it was not a good day for him to do that. So Donald Trump, when he was in Scotland, he certainly talked about that he was against it, and Donald was for it. And Hillary hadn't said anything. It took a long time for Hillary to come out, and then both Obama and Hillary finally came out and said, yes, we thought this might go another way that would be more advantageous for them, but you have to respect the will of the people. I wanted to puke. What? Why you're saying something like that now, and that has never crossed your lips or mind, that the will of the people is for them to be free from this mandating, union that's telling them, this is what they're going to do, and this is what they have to do, and that they have to negotiate things that like all these immigrants coming in, and that scared them. I think the migration was the biggest part of it, but that scared them. They had no say. They couldn't say, no, we've had enough. This is killing our economy. It's killing us. So just stop it. And they had felt no power, and now they've taken the power back, and it's going to be rough. Yes, it's going to be rough, but I think they're ready for it. I do believe. And Donald Trump said this isn't the last one that's going to happen. I think more is going to, follow suit, because they're tired of being crushed by, a government that is not speaking their will. So I mean, if you vote for something and then it fails or something happens, it is your fault. You voted for it. Okay, fine. But everybody, like David Cameron, jumping ship, saying, I'm not the guy to be the captain for this Brexit thing. So the prime minister's gone, and all these union people, Labour Party is leaving. So there's a lot of stuff that's going on that is just, yes, hello, voice. It is a turmoil, yes, but I think they're going to be okay. I think everything will work out. It'll settle down. Where's my cough button? It's coming. We're getting a cough button. I'm so excited. So, Bob, what do you think? What is your thoughts on it? Bob Berry is with us this morning. It's Monday, so he's in the chair across me. I just don't ever let him talk. But, Bob, what is your thoughts on it?
Well, first of all, my ideas on this may not be that of the department. So I'm using my disclaimer.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's your disclaimer. Okay.
But personally, I think that every country should have a sovereign state.
Yes.
And what I see out of it is that there with no boundaries and everything else is going into one big place, that they're losing their sovereignty of that country. Mm-hmm. And I think that the United States need to be united. Right. Just like that we would have our own boundaries and our own sovereignty and not bow down to other countries. Right. And I think that's where the Brexit, the British are doing right now. Now, it may work and it may not work, but you know what? They could always re-vote it again.
Yeah, and I think their thinking is that the more miserable everybody is that voted for this is great, because then they'll come back to us and go like, we're sorry, we want back in. But I think that they feel like if they can get some reaction, they can get the new government in quickly that is for this and not someone who's very apathetic about it. And he said in 3 months we should have enough time to make that transition. Well, the EU says, we want y'all out of here now. We want you out. If you don't want to be here, we don't want you here, so we want you out. But I think the more calm thinking is that, and the elite thinking is that if let's make this transition take a while so that people can see what they've done, what they have, And so much of it is you go like, do you not put your country first, or do you just, you're going to try and teach them, manipulate them through the politics of things? Get them back where they feel secure again and feel free and feel like we can say we don't want this many people coming in, and we want to make a new way to vet these people coming in and all that. They can let them have some kind of say in it. Merkel, who's head of Germany, and just let hundreds and hundreds of thousands of these immigrants come in and refugees come in, and they're in a total mess. And so I think the Brits saw, whoa, we don't want that same mess in our backyard. And if this is, we can't assimilate. We can't. If they even were assimilated, Bob, if they would come in and to our country and say, great, you're here. We want to help you, but you're going to have to become an American. You have to accept. This is why you came here, right? So why don't you accept this and assimilate into our way of thinking and not try and change what we are to go back to where you came from? Why do you want that? That's what I've never understood.
Our platform for centuries has been that we allow other people to come in.
Right.
And it's okay.
Right.
But we want to help people and get them an opportunity to work here and live here and assimilate with us.
And contribute.
Contribute to the nation.
And you can have your religion. We came here because we wanted freedom of religion. You can have your religion, but it cannot, hamper and cause us fear because you want your government with that religion, like the Sharia law. You want to bring in your government. And why in Irving, Texas, that is taking place? I can't get over. I mean, it astounds me that they're allowing that.
Well, we still have our ideals. We still have everything that we've had ever since we broke away from Britain centuries ago. So now we're allowing them to come in and go over what our rules are and what our laws are.
Yeah.
And it's no longer equal.
We've become subservient to these people,
Exactly.
which they left their way of living over there because it was so horrible. It was so dangerous. It was, and all that. So they come over here, and it just, I don't understand. Why do you want change like that you're calling for? Why do you feel like, we need to bow down to you because you came to us and we're open arms, but then you take advantage of this and decide you want to change us to where you were. Don't come over if that's what you feel like you want to come over and change us.
If I went to another country and I wanted to go into their country and live in XYZ country in South America or wherever, even in Europe, I would expect that I would have to follow the rules and laws of that country and that location where you are.
Everybody has a harder way of getting into their country than we do, and that when you go over there and try to live there and all that, and all the criteria you have to meet is much worse than ours, and we're the ones that just people are just pouring over the borders and all, and so you see where when Donald Trump said what he said just really touched the nerve, and the people in Europe. We haven't had a poll yet out after that. After it happened, and when Donald spoke and what Obama and Hillary said and all that, we haven't had a poll out after that. We don't know if that's going to change it. Donald Trump is down in the polls right now, and we haven't had the convention yet. There's a long way. It's about 5 points he's down, and that nationally, and so that is, you start feeling like that had to have some effect on us to see what they did, why they did it. It's the same reason that these people, it should have emboldened all of Trump supporters, because this is what they're trying to do. Is like, we want to stick it to the man, and we're sick and tired of how, you've been treating us. I don't get it. But that's okay, because today is the day of questions. The first question is, who done it? It's Monday, who done it? And Bob Berry is here to lay out the crime for us when we get back. So don't go away, and get your pencil and papers out to take the notes that he's going to give us as we see the crime. Listen to the Cindy Cochran Show. We'll be right back.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
Did you know your favorite show on Lone Star Community Radio are on social media? Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Instagram, you name it, they're on it. Check out where they are online on irlonestar.com/shows and see which of your favorite hosts are online. Make sure to follow them and see what is in store for the next broadcast. Follow Lone Star Community Radio on Twitter at IRLoneStar or Facebook with facebook.com/IRLoneStar.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much for joining us. Today is the Who Done It Day, and Bob Berry's going to lay out a crime scene for us. But I want to ask you something first. So off topic. Do you drink a lot of water, Bob?
Do I what?
Drink a lot of water?
No.
You do not?
No.
Okay. Is there a reason? You sound like you're...
I'm an addict.
Yes. So you don't drink water?
Not a lot.
You're afraid you might get addicted to it?
No.
Or?
I'm addicted to Diet Coke.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, I have to, if I drink something that's sweet or has any sugar in it, I have to drink about 16, 20 ounces of water to try and flush it. And but I saw this in a stop and go. Look at that!
I thought you had a bottle of vodka or something.
That's what it looks like. It looks like and it's called Icelandic Glacial, and it's some pond up in wherever this place is. It is over 5,000 years ago. they discovered this water source that they found to be so beneficial. And I didn't even read that until after I bought it, because the bottle's so cool looking at it. The top of the bottle looks like the top of an ice mountain, and it's just
a crystal.
Yeah, it's so cool. Look at the way it's cut and all. And then the bottom of it looks like a vodka bottle. It's just, that is amazing. And so I totally was sucked in by the marketing. Totally.
And in 5 minutes, they're going to have that bottle filled and sold from Lake Houston.
Man, can you imagine? Oh, I don't even know where. I don't want to know, like, when you go to the water thing and you get the water, like, to follow the line that looks like it's coming straight out of, like, is that filtered? Are we sure that's filtered? Are we sure that's good water? Because water has taste. People say, there's no taste in water. But I drink so much water that there's, Fiji is very smooth water. It's smooth.
Oh, you're a connoisseur of water.
Oh, yes, I should be doing a show. But Fiji water's fine. It's so smooth. It's really good. And so I've started looking at different ones. That black water that came out of one of the housewives shows, their two boys invested in this place that was going to start distributing black water. Okay, that's hard to buy, and it's even harder to drink because you're so afraid. It just doesn't look right. I don't know who they thought or who consulted with them and said, yeah, selling black water is a great thing to do. But I don't get it. I don't get it. And it wasn't flying off the shelf. But this, I think, would do well. I don't know if they're testing it in these little stores or something, but man, it tastes really good. It has a good taste to it. Because when you get Kroger's spring water thing, and it's filled all the way to the top, it's running, it's like, there's nothing cool about it. It's got this plastic, wrapping around it, and it's been sitting out in the warehouse, or it's been sitting outside. I won't buy water from outside, and I know because I read the report that some scientists did at UT that said they tested water and what was in water after sitting outside for so long and stuff, and there was just like traced hardly any amount of chemical that came from the bottle, and that it was not harmful. And so do not worry about drinking a bottle that's been sitting out in the sun. But it tastes different. If it tastes different, something's in there that make that taste bad. So but anyway, I just want to know if you'd ever drank anything like that. And I had a great trip to Weatherford, Texas, and that place is really cool. Mineral Wells is an old place where it's right past Weatherford. You go into Mineral Wells, and it has these old 1920 buildings, huge buildings. It's because all the rich people would come there and sit in the waters that they felt like there's a lot of minerals in, and it would help you and heal you and all that. But I mean, it was for the richest of the rich. And this building looks like it's ready to collapse. It looks like the beginning of when they implode a building and starts coming together. So it's very scary because it's going to smash all the buildings around. It's such a small little town, but it was really cool. And I certainly enjoyed being with my sister Carolyn. And I had a good time. It was no kids, no husbands, nobody. It was just her and I just have some sister time, and it was wonderful. We went over a lot of old pictures and stuff. My mom has passed away May 1st, and so it was the first time we got to see each other, and also it was great. And I was just reporting, following up on that. Okay, Bob, I'm ready for the mystery, and you said it was going to be short. That's why I took that time to say that.
It's actually going to be fairly quick and fairly easy.
You think it's going to be easy?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to get it. Watch me overanalyze this. Go ahead, try me. Go ahead.
Okay, let's set the
scene.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's 1:00 in the night, full moon, clear sky.
Clear sky.
Yes, and we get a call. Man on the ground.
Is that what they said? Man on the ground.
Man on the ground.
Okay.
And he is in a parking lot of an apartment complex.
So he's in the parking lot on the ground.
Parking lot.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. By his car.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. So we get out there, and he is, of course, deceased. So we start investigating.
How long had he been deceased?
He was
I'm going to
still-
ask you that as you go.
He was still warm.
Oh, how long does it take a body from when they're, when the spirit leaves them to become cold? And
It depends on whether the weather outside. It can take longer in the summer, especially daytime. The heat will still keep you warm.
right.
But the real part of it is on the internal when they do the autopsy. But cold weather outside, the body will cool a lot faster.
Sure. Okay. So it really determines. It's not like, okay, you're going
It'll take
to
hours, yeah.
to be okay. Yikes. All right. So he's dead. He's still warm. So that means this happened not too long ago, though, right?
Correct.
Okay.
So we get there. There is nothing on the ground. There is no broken glass. The car's locked. There is no physical evidence outside, with the exception of 2 cars down from where his car was parked was an empty beer bottle.
That's it. That
is the clues.
Okay, but how much? No blood.
There was blood.
Had you turned him over? Was he on his face?
He was on his back.
He was on his back, laying there, arms outstretched,
Yeah, sort of.
and you couldn't. No blood.
There was blood.
Okay. There was
Yeah,
blood.
there was
where?
There was blood from the abdomen, from an arm, and from the other side of the chest.
Was it the blood was from cut or from gun or what? What?
All we know
caused the
is at
blood?
this point that it was blood coming from the 3 areas.
But not how. You couldn't tell if it was a bullet wound or a cut or whatever. Okay.
It's not like being up close where you get to see the hole in the shirt or anything like that.
Okay. So all you noticed was this beer bottle on 2 cars links down, and it was laying on the ground. Was it a broken beer bottle?
No.
It was not.
Still had cold beer.
Cold, and the beer was cold.
The beer was cold, and there was still beer in the bottle, and it was standing up
Straight.
2 cars away.
Okay. Wow. So either the murderer left the bottle, or it was the guy who's dead. It's the bottle, and that's your only clue.
Correct.
Okay.
So how would you? I'm going to ask you now. How would you go about trying to solve this?
Well, you call the ME, then you'd and have someone there that could tell you how. I mean, unless you can get your hands dirty and you've got gloves on, and you start kind of examining the body to see what happened. Then you'd make sure that you contact the manager of is it apartment complex or hotel?
Apartments.
Apartment complex. You find the office and get that person, notify them and find out if they know this person or.
And I will tell you this: he did live in an apartment complex, and his car was registered to the apartment complex.
Yeah.
So he was legitimately there in the parking lot.
Okay, because you pulled his wallet, or you pulled to see if there's any identification on him, right?
No ID.
No ID on him. See, because I forgot to ask that. First thing I should have asked is, did he have ID on him? That's okay. He did live there. He was there legally. And, but did you? I would bring the manager out to see where the cars were, where he was, to see does she know of, has anybody talked about there was a fight or anything like that? What did they know? Because there was nobody out. There was nobody out when you pulled up. There wasn't a crowd. There wasn't anybody there that
There was a guy
watching.
who came in, and when he came in to park in his car, he saw the guy laying on the ground, and he's the one that called.
Oh, okay.
911.
Okay. Oh, that's how y'all knew. Okay. Wow. Nobody around. You just have. Do you have to start? Would I start knocking doors to find out if anybody heard anything?
Okay, that's a good start.
That would be okay.
I will tell you this now that you've made that part of it is, it's a small apartment complex. Not 150 apartments. This is one that was maybe 20 apartments.
Okay, so he had no ID. So somebody, you think, stole his wallet, stole the money from him?
And I will tell you this too, that the manager was familiar with the guy, but did not know the guy. And the reason why we got his registration from the apartment complex, even though it was at the complex, he was not the owner of the car.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay. So, let's just assume immediately they stole the car. And he's a thief. And he deserved this beating he got. Okay, it wasn't a beating, though. We don't know yet.
Okay, well, you mentioned the examiner, medical examiner. We don't have one.
Conroe didn't have a medical examiner?
No, we have autopsy. We have forensic doctors that go in and do the autopsies and that.
But you have to bring the body to them.
We bring the body to them.
Oh, nobody comes out and looks them over.
The justice of the peace.
That's right. You can call that in, right?
Right.
Okay. Oh, man. That's so takes it out of the movies, because the guy comes in, he's mad you woke him up, and he's trying to, and now he has to do this. And
it happens regularly. Not necessarily with homicides or anything like that. It's just any death he's notified with that.
But the movies, he comes out and he lays all the stuff out, and he goes, he died 4 hours ago, and it was from a strangling or something, that they give you what they feel like why he died. But at this point, you still don't know. Is this guy bleeding, like still bleeding, or is he rigor mortis started?
No, it was, and when I say it's still warm, because typically when you have rigor mortis, it's about 8 hours before it starts actually getting.
Oh,
rigor
okay,
mortis.
okay.
So, and it also depends on whether it's cold or whether it's hot.
Yeah.
And so it depends. It could be the weight and the size of the person and that sort of thing. A lot of different things can go in.
Factor into that.
Factor
Okay.
into that. So I will say that there was blood on the ground. Mm-hmm. And there was blood in the 3 areas
that you said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So our crime scene guys eventually went into, after the justice of the peace got there, looked at it.
So he did come in and look at it.
He looked at it, and then, of course, they gloved up, and then they went and started looking to see what it was.
Okay. But this beer bottle that you mentioned, you had to do that because now I keep trying to figure out how would that coincide. I mean, they could have been drunk and this all happened, but how did that coincide with him being so messed up, So, okay, let me think about that. If you guys have any suggestions or ideas, please message me on the Cindy Cochran Show, okay? And tell me.
I have one more clue.
And we get one more clue when we come back.
When we come back.
All right. I love this. All right, guys, you're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show on the Whodunit Monday. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
The Cindy Cochran Show. Real reality radio.
Lone Star Community Radio is FM. That's right. Set your radio dials and your button presets to Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1, coming in June of 2016. To celebrate this edition and the addition of video versions of our talk and music shows on YouTube, cable TV, and our city TV, we are offering special sponsorships rates, which include free audio spots that are played throughout our broadcast. Interested? Check out our sponsor rates for shows just like the one you're listening to online at irlonestar.com/sponsor, or call the station at 936-647-5747. reaching the people of Montgomery County with Montgomery County's community radio station with Lone Star Community Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much for listening. We're, smack dab in the middle of a crime scene. And Bob has laid this out. This is what he's told us. And he said, this is going to be so easy, Cindy. And we're still here. I still don't understand or know what's everything I say. And he gives me the reason why that's not the way it should be. I'm frustrated, but he's going to give us one more clue. And we have that much time. And then he will then pronounce who done it and what the deal was. Okay. But Bob, the deal is there's a guy on his back laying in the parking lot of an apartment complex, and there's blood from 3 areas of his body where there's trauma, but that's really all you have. There's no ID on the guy, and the apartment manager knew him, but that car did not belong to him that he was laying. The one that was registered, that he registered with, is not his car. Okay, and 2 cars down from this parking lot, there is a beer bottle, still cold, sitting upright, and I have no idea what that has to do with anything, but one more clue. Okay, one more clue.
One more clue. This apartment complex was about 2 blocks away from the apartment complex. A bar was there.
It was 2 blocks from a bar.
Yes.
Aha. So there's liquor involved. They got liquored up, and where the beer bottle was is it another theft of a car? Does this have to do with the
His car's still there.
No, I mean, is this because of a theft of a car? Did he steal this car from the guy that? Okay.
Nope.
Bob, it's like so obvious, right? And I
It
cannot
is.
see it. I want to know how the wounds did. Can you give us that clue? Like where the wounds?
Yeah, once we got the justice peace there, and our guys started looking at it, it turned out to be 3 knife stabs.
Knife stabs. Okay. So not the take the bottle, break it over the side, and then
No.
stab. Okay, these are knife stabs.
That's why I told you
Okay.
there's no broken glass.
There's no. Oh yeah. Okay, that's right. That's right. Okay. All right. I'm telling you, I'd be standing there and not, but I would want to talk to people about the guy. I would think this would take a long investigation, because you'd have to find out what motive somebody might have to do something like this to him and all that. And you said you got this done in 2 hours.
Correct.
All right. Okay. Go ahead. Impress me. What did you do and how did you find out?
Okay, we found that there were 3 stab wounds into the body. Mm-hmm. We have no evidence whatsoever on the scene.
Right.
The beer bottle that I told you was there.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with the crime.
You dog. You dogs. That's what I kept concentrating on going back to. Okay, so.
But see, it
But it's
throws,
cold.
It throws us too.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's still cold, it means it came from very close. It hasn't been there
Mm-hmm.
very long. It was on a warm night.
Were there suds at the top of it?
No.
Okay.
So our crime scene guys go in and find the stab wounds. Mm-hmm. And so in the apartment complexes, it is true, nobody there saw anything.
Oh, let me ask one thing. So, and there was no blood drops going away from the
No,
body?
they were right there on the...
And that was it?
Mm-hmm.
No blood around? Okay. All right.
It didn't run or didn't walk and then die in the parking
Nobody
lot.
stepped in the blood that killed him and walked off with it? Okay. That's unusual, though.
Yes, it is.
So if you find the guy, his
There's no screaming, no yelling, nobody woke up, nobody saw anything, no witnesses.
if you tell me this is suicide, I'm going to
No,
okay.
it's a homicide.
It's a homicide. Okay.
Okay, so that means on that basis right there, there's nothing there. So the closest thing to it was the bar. And so, I'm thinking beer, bar. But anyway, so we go from there. we take a picture of the deceased, and we go into the bar, and we start talking to the people that are there. Do you know this guy? Oh yeah, he was there. And so, was this guy here there very long? Yeah, he was. Drinking pretty good. He was drunk. Okay, well, he's dead. What happened? Do you know this guy? Did anything happen here in the bar? Oh yeah, him and another guy, they got into a fight over a girl in the bar.
In the bar.
In the bar. And so they had a little fight. They kicked them all out.
Uh-huh.
Okay, not to come back. So a friend of his goes and takes him back to the apartment where he was at and says, here, go to sleep it off. Okay? And so the guy that's the suspect, he actually finds the guy. He sees him walking into where the apartment was 2 blocks away, so he's following him. And so he goes inside, and he knocks on the door, and he gets up and opens the door. He brings him back out. They get into a fight, and he stabbed him out in the parking lot.
And walked away.
Oh,
but not out of the long arms of the Conroe PD. Okay. So who turned on him? Was it the Good Samaritan that took him back to the
people in the bar said, oh yeah, him and this guy. Well, do you know this guy? Oh yeah, he's here all the time. And so you can find him. He was actually in the same apartment complex.
He lives in yeah, but he was gone. He I mean,
well, he was didn't know where he was in his apartment, and of course he's not going to say anything. But we end up finding where he lived, and that's where we found him. And then of course we started investigating with him. And so eventually he confesses.
He did confess to it. Well, see, now, if you'd have told me it was 2 blocks from a bar, that might have. No, I probably wouldn't have. But that was good. You really got me on that. We needed Deanie here to ask the right questions, right? Deanie will be back with us next week, and so she will bear the burden of having to lay out the crime since she wasn't here today. But she had said she thought she might be able to come every other week and be with us, but she likes this. This is fun, so that's good. And she said, no problem. I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And Deanie Harmon, if you're just your first time listening to this, Deanie Harmon is a 24-year vet with the Houston PD, and she was 17 years undercover narcotics agent with them. So she has a lot of her own stories, and she got in it when women weren't really in it as such, not in numbers that they are now. So she'll be back with us, and of course Lieutenant Bob is here. He also writes an article for the Conroe Courier that's in the Courier on, is it the weekend?
It's on Sunday.
On Sunday. In which section?
About page 8, but
about page 8. See, you tell us a small town. Yeah, it's about page 8. It's page 8 of 10. No, the Conroe has a little bigger, paper. I can remember in Houston and how huge the Sunday papers were. It was ridiculous how big they were. And now they're not so big because that was a long time ago. Just imagine how much has changed for people who thought that the printed word would go on forever. And it will in some form probably and all that. But boy, and shopping and going to the malls and all these people building these big malls. Why are you doing that? Do you not see that people are just shifting over to buying everything online? And I've never bought anything online. The only time I tried, it wasn't even online. It was from TV saying call his number or go to this website, and I called and it never came. The item never came to me, and I had no recourse to who to call. And so I don't trust that. It's hard for me to buy stuff online, but I know everybody does it. And even my husband, who thought computers were just a fad and that he was going to keep his Big Chief tablets, and he knew where everything was. So,
well, I tried the internet.
Buying stuff on the
stuff,
internet?
Yes. And it's okay. I do that. One of the things, the flaw out of this is when you have one of these people that say, well, I want XYZ widget, okay, and I want to find the cheapest one. So you get on the internet and you try to find the one, and it pops up with several different internet sites that will tell you how much they cost.
Right.
Now, I think one of the biggest one is the one that it would be in the jungle and starts with an A. I can't tell you what the name is, but it starts with an A and it looks like a jungle. And so...
you can't say the name. Why can't you say the name?
I don't want to slander anybody. And so... so you have to watch it when you do that, because what happens is it goes to another person, another company. If it goes straight from that company or from the internet site, it's fast. But if it goes to the independent company, it may take 2 or 3 weeks to get there.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm in that right now.
Well, I don't know. It's so weird. I'm afraid. And plus, I would miss, I'll tell you what I'll miss when we come back from this break. We got a break. We got to go to our last break, and then we'll wind it up. So, guys, thank you so much for listening, and stay with us. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show and the Whodunit Monday.
Lone Star Community Radio is Montgomery County's community radio station, and we are looking for talk show hosts and volunteer DJs for our music shows. Are you interested in having your own talk show on Lone Star, or have you always wanted to live out your dreams of being a music DJ? With the addition of Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and video aspects of our talk shows, we are needing people to grow with us. If you or someone you know might be interested, please contact us online at irlonestar.com/contact us, or call the station at 936-647-5747 for more information.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show, the Whodunit Monday. We do this every Monday. We allow the officers to lay out the crime scene. Bob Berry, lieutenant with the Conroe PD, and Deanie Harmon, who is a veteran of the Houston PD, and they lay out the crime scene, and then we start asking questions, and then you can come on my Facebook and ask questions if you want to, and if you feel like you know who did it and you got it solved. But I love this. It's like being interactive Forensic Files, and it's because you watch Forensic Files and you go like, hey, but somebody should have checked, and so I'll get frustrated because I wish I could say, why didn't you check this or that? And those things are so well done. They catch you. It doesn't matter. They'll end one of them, another one will come up, and I'm trying to leave, and it gives you just enough information that you got to stay there and see who did it. So those drive me crazy. But Bob, thank you so much that you're here and that you do this.
You're welcome.
So
and
fun.
It gives something that you see kind of behind the scenes of what we see.
Right.
And
right.
And doing this. And this is all fun, but it is very serious.
It is, and it's a past crime, so it's out of the statute of limitations.
Correct.
So there's, we don't say names or anything like that. It is, it's like awareness building for one, how much you guys have to go through to normally your investigations, how long they go. This one was a quick one, and it was brilliant the way you guys do it. And it does bring a lot of kudos to you for how you get these things done and investigate. I know there's still the cold files and things like that.
We do have some, yes. We're not at 100% all the time.
Right.
But most of the time you see this place on TV, the first 48.
Right.
And most of the time it's that way, or within a few months anyway. But probably 97-98% are solved, and that other 2% maybe will be the cold cases. Yeah, for
well, and then you see in the shows where people go and they do the cold file cases, and they'll open them up and start going through them and see if something was missed. And now that the more technology we have and like DNA and all that stuff, and a lot of the cold files, they didn't take the DNA properly, or because they didn't know what they would have in the future to be able to distinguish it. But boy, it's just fascinating. And you guys do this every day, and you never know what to expect when you knock on that door. And
that's right.
And when somebody's made a call and what's going on, I just have so much appreciation for what you do and what your officers do. And I know it gets mundane at times, and you guys, like everything's going like real smooth, nothing's happened. And then when it does happen, it's like you can't get into any kind of I guess, feeling like everything's okay and nothing's ever happens here. And that's always the famous line. As soon as somebody says that on the movie, something bad's going to really happen, and that to be put to the test. But you guys are always training for things that may happen, right?
Yes, and way technology is coming in over the last 10 or 15 years, and especially back to times when DNA started coming in, it really has changed the way that we have to be trained, and that we have to know these things and be able to use them properly. And it's always something that we're trying to do to increase the arrest that we can get.
Well, because it's scary out there, and we see things that happen on a national level, and we feel like, oh, it's not going to ever happen here. But of course it could. We have human beings living here and stuff, so it could happen. And to know that you guys are on top of it, and that you're watching all the things that are going on around us that could happen right here, and so that's what I think is very cool. That means that you guys have to be, like watching what other, how other forces handled theirs. The first responders handled theirs. I was so interested in watching all the, when Donald Trump was going around and speaking, and the crowds of the protesters that would come, and how the police, you'd feel like at one point or another, if that crowd understood that if we all go together and push together, we could push them down. I'm glad they didn't, and I'm not giving them any ideas, but I'm saying it's like the Tower of Babel. If they can all get together and understand what we could accomplish if we get on the same page, it's scary. But it's actually frightening.
I'm sorry. If you look in Houston, when he was here in Houston, there were no issues.
Oh, not in Texas. Only in...
Well, and that's my point, is it depends on the state and the city where they are as to what their levels of what they will do, or what they will allow the police to do.
Right.
And so could we go and do this stuff and keep them from coming in? Absolutely. But at what point do you have to stop, and what point do you begin to hurt people?
Right.
And
right.
So,
that's what.
And so you have to make that decision. The political people make that decision. At what point do we stop? Do we let them go, or are we afraid of hurting or killing someone?
Well,
and so it's a political issue.
It is, because if they say stand down, back off, and
back off,
then you have to, and a lot of times we as the people observing it, we're thinking the police, what are you doing backing down from them? And if you keep yourself moving backwards, they're just they're getting emboldened because you haven't stood your ground and said you're not going any further than this. So I know the quarterbacking, that Monday morning quarterbacking that goes on as we watch the tapes of these these people doing this, and I think this summer, of all times to have conventions, it should be done in the cold, not in the summer when everybody's mad anyway, and the heat just makes you crazy. It's so strange. So they do it in the summer, everybody's upset anyway, and then the protesters come out, and it's just here we go. It's so we'll see what happens in Cleveland, and
I hope they have a good plan.
I do too. I mean, I hope they've been working for a while on this, and it's probably who they'll have the most trouble with are the GOP leaders. Trump's probably got them saying, like, keep them quartered off over here and don't let them in the door. But it's going to be fun to watch, and I just love this kind of stuff. So anyway, I'm getting the big wind up from Richard, and so we'll be back tomorrow, Monday through Friday, the same time, same place. And on Wednesday, guess who's coming? Kirk Murphy, Golden Corral. Now, I've got every number that he ever has. I know where he lives now, and we will make sure this happens because he didn't get the message last time to remind him. So anyway, we will be back on the Cindy Cochran Show tomorrow, 10 a.m. Thank you so much for listening. Make somebody happy and you'll be happier, and I love you, Mom.
Thanks for checking out this production of Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's community radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star Community Radio, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, TV, media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production produced by the show host and Dick Schischler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schischler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.